address, not knowing if that range was actually allowed in this particular environment. So I need to go through and make a few minor changes. Let's see if we can actually put our own gateway in here. So let's do this. Let's do the route, add. Then we're going to type the default, GW for default gateway. Then we'll put in what that should be, 192.168.1.1. And we're going to assign that to ETH0. Hit enter. No such device. You notice that I had a typo. Some people would say when you're doing a video that you should not have the mistakes in here. I prefer to leave them in here. I could cut this out, but I'm not going to because I want you guys to see how easy it is to make a common mistake. Real simply, I just didn't have the correct typing in there. ETH0, now it should be correct. And we hit enter. Now let's type our route. Hit enter. And now we see that we also have our default DD-WRT. Now we have our gateway in there. Now what it did is it actually went out and found out what the actual name of the device was rather than just listing the IP address. Now let's say that we want to know what the IP address is. You can just do a route -n, which means that it disables the DNS lookup. So we hit enter and now we see the IP address. Should we see if we have internet access yet? Look at that. We now have internet access. You see, by changing the IP address and giving myself a static IP address, I no longer had a proper name server. I did not have a route to the gateway. I needed to put that in. So the reason that we actually want you guys to know how to do this is I have been on many internal situations where I could not get an IP address via DHCP. So I needed to know how to manually put these in after doing a little bit of sniffing and seeing what was out there and available. So now we are all set up manually with a static IP address of .99. So remember before I made mention of I didn't take the time to look to see if 99 would even function. So I was like, well, rather than going back and seeing if that would happen, let's just see if we can put the gateway in here and add a route and see if it functions. And it did. So that is the simple fix to this. One last command. Sometimes you got a screen that looks awful cluttered. We want to clean it up. In Windows we use CLS. Here in Linux we use clear. There it is. All done, perfectly clear, and we are ready to roll. Now all it did was moved us to the top. You see, it didn't actually get rid of everything, so we can go back and look at all of that. But it gave us a clear desktop, a clear console to begin to work from. A few other items that we need to take note of. Remember, I did an ls to see what was listed in here. I'm going to do a cd for change directory, and we're moving back to the root. Now I do hold on here. Yeah, we're in the root, aren't we? Now I'm back into the root here. And you see, now that I'm at the root, I did a cd with a / rather than the \, which changed the directory to root. So now I see my bin, dev, lib, just like I was looking at them in Konquer, but now we're in a command line situation. When I want to move to these, I simply do a cd / actually, since I'm here, I just do tmp, do an ls, and there's everything in the temporary file. Now, what happens when I want to move to one of the other folders when I'm in here? You can do a cd / I'm just going to do pen, now pen test. You have to put the / in there if you are not in the directory right before it. Now, I'm going to do an ls here. So if I want to move to the enumeration directory from here, I do cd enumeration. I do not put the /. If I want to move to the temp directory, I have to put the tmp because I'm doing /root. See, now I'm back in the temp directory. This is how you manipulate your way around and get through or to some of the folders. Just like if I was going to copy something from slash, let's just say slash pentest, Cisco. I want to copy that to, I got to put the name of the file. Okay. Then I put a space and I'm going to copy that to TMP. Now this is just an example of how you would copy it. I know there's no name of file there, but this is an example of how you copy CP. It's going to take whatever the name of whatever the file is that I want to copy from the pentest Cisco directory. It's going to put it into the slash TMP folder. That's a simple way to get some copying accomplished. So there's CD for change directory and CP for copy. One other thing I want to show you guys here is how easy it has become to be able to access USB devices from within Backtrack or any of the Linux distributions. Remember the old days, you'd shove one in and you'd like get nothing there? It would put it in, but you'd have to actually go in and physically mount the device to a directory so that you could see the information. But today, if I plug my USB stick in, give it just a moment. Now I was going to go up and click on the VM just to show you what was going on, but here we are. Here's our stick. I can click on Open New Window. Click OK. And here is our device, system:/media SDB5, and here is everything that is on that particular device. Nice, huh? Remember DE? This is obviously out of a Windows, wasn't it? Ha ha ha. Do you know what the DE means? Well, we'll let you guys go look that up. That has to do with how things are deleted in Windows 7, I believe it was. All right, so here is our device. Pretty easy to get what we needed so that we could copy and paste stuff into it. Remember, you can do a drop and drag. Okay, I can do a right click and I can copy that. I can right click and I can paste it. And now I have the home one listed here as well. Does the same thing that it did before. No different. Okay. I can also do a simple drag. Maybe. One thing that's nice about this is it comes up, what do you want to do? I'm going to copy it because I don't want to move it. I need to keep it there. So now it's copying it from one to the other. So there's the simple uses of the CD for change directory, the CD for copying, and of course how easy it is for us to be able to mount and make use of a USB stick. Now I come back into removable devices here, coming down to Lexar, and I can disconnect it. Now it's going to disconnect from Backtrack and it's going to connect to my base system. Before we move on to the last demonstration that I'm going to do in this part of the course, I wanted you guys to be able to take a good look at moving your way around, and so that we could find the items that are installed on here for pen testing. I already showed you through the K menu where things are and how the point and click would work without a problem. There's a lot of items that we're going to make use of later on. Most of the time in here, you would simply, some of these I'm making sure that I get a command line tool rather than a GUI tool. So what it does here now, when I click on that, is it comes up, it puts me in the correct folder, and then it gives me the commands that I would run in order to make that happen. What I'm going to do instead is we're going to browse to, I'm going to go CD. So here's our LS. Remember, we have pen test in here. This is where most of these items are stored. So I'm going to go CD pen test, do our LS. So here is a whole horde of items for hacking, for pen testing. Here's our Bluetooth stuff. Here's all the Cisco, your database. Fast track we'll look at later on. Here's our exploits. enumeration, your fuzzers. Don't worry if you don't know what some of these things are or do. I will explain them as the course goes on. Items for cracking passwords. I don't remember what RE is. Here's your scanners, voice over IP, VPN, web-based stuff, wireless stuff, tunneling, everything under the sun. Let's just, for the kicks of it here, I'm going to go into enumeration. So in the enumeration, here's some other folders. DNS, DNS enum, DNS enum 1111 beta. All of these are used for enumerating DNS information. This is another good tool for DNS enumeration, Fierce. I will demonstrate that in an upcoming module. Here's our Google stuff. List the URLs. Mibble. Mibble is a, I'm trying to remember which one, if it helps with the Google stuff or if it is more along the SMB. I believe that's more SMB enumeration. I always have to, there are so many tools that we use, guys and gals, that I have to go back and look at some of them, because if I use them every once in a while but not every day, I tend to forget, because there's hundreds of tools here. I have used all DNS enum, Fierce, Google, list URLs. I've used Mibble, NMB scan, SNMP enum, and relay scanner. I have not used anything here. Let's go ahead and look underneath there. CD www. Okay, now we're listed there. LS. Here's our HTTP print. I have used HTTP print. I just never run it from this area. I always run it from the K menu. So there you go. I have used that one. Just for sure, wasn't sure what was going on. Now you notice here I did some typing and I ended up with more listed there than I thought. I typed C once and it come up 3 times. With VMware, you will get that from time to time. So that's just something else to keep in mind. So we do our LS. I'm just going to do a -L this time, except I have to have the dash in the right spot. See, guys? So here we are, all of our folders, all of our directories. We can move into each one of them and we can run them from there. I'm going to show you 2 more items here. We're going to CD. I'm going to go ahead and CD into Mibble. Do an LS. So we have a license, a README, the doc, lib, and directory. Now, of course, in order to learn how to do this, you're going to utilize the README text. So let's take a look at a few additional items here. Let's look at how you're going to figure out how these tools actually work. So we're going to go ahead and move into the Fierce directory. I'm going to do a CD Fierce. Okay. Do my LS. Now I'm just going to type Fierce. I was trying to cheat and do it the easy way. Hit enter. Now it tells me what I need to do. In this case, you type fierce.pl-h for help. You have to use a -DNS switch with the domain after it. So that's what it's telling you. Now, I also want you guys to know that most of these, not all, but most of these have a man page associated with them. So this one does not. Let's do one that I'm pretty sure does. So here is the manual page, or the man page, associated with Nmap. Now, I just wanted you guys to see that you can type man and the name of the program, and if there is a manual page associated with it, you will be able to come up and read more about it. Now, we're not going to spend time going through this now, but I just wanted you to see that that was something that could be done. I used a Control-Z to get out of the man page. Control-Z is what actually exits you from the manual page. So you can just type the program and hit enter, and if it doesn't have the correct information, normally it'll come up and show or tell you what you need to do. Otherwise, you can do a man and the name of the program, and if there's a manual file associated with it, it will come up and give you the actual manual so that you can read and learn how it works.